And we're back for week number 5 of the Contender Series this week from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. We shall see who Dana White signs once more as we hit the halfway mark of the Contender Series here in 2025. Last week in week 4, right, Dana gives out 4 contracts, does not give one out to Eduardo Henrique, who took the fight on short notice, but, you know, that's neither here or there. Dana hands out 4 contracts, We go 4 for 5 on the card. Let's look for more success this week with the Contender Series. I have broken down film, and I've watched all of these guys fight, and just wait till I get to the main event, okay? The first fight and the last fight, I don't know what the hell's going on. Well, I do know what's going on. I don't know how some of these guys got on the UFC roster, the Contender Series roster. Middle fights, I understand. First and last, oh man. And folks, before you get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more Dana White's Contender Series predictions here on the channel, here on Greedo Plays MMA, along with our UFC Noche predictions, which are already on the channel as well. Diego Lopez versus John Silva from the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas for Mexican Independence Day. Make sure to go check out that video in the description down below. As we get on to the first of our 5 Contender Series bouts this week, kicking things off in the light heavyweight division, we have got Felipe Franco versus Freddy Vidal. And you might be thinking, why is Freddy Vidal in a football coach attire? Because he's a football coach. Dude is a 3-0 professional fighter, and somehow he got in the Contender Series. Yeah, I don't know how this one happened. Freddy Vidal is 3-0 professionally. He is not a full-time mixed martial arts fighter. I think he is a flag, or I think he's a high school football coach, and he's a flag football coach as well. Which I respect. That's fire. But he's not a full-time mixed martial arts fighter. And that's a problem. 3-0 professionally, 1 win in LFA by decision, and then back-to-back victories in Flex Fight League over in New York. He won back-to-back fights by knockout against an 0-0 and a 2-4 fighter. He has never beaten a fighter with the winning record, and somehow he is a fight away from being on the UFC roster. It's not like he's some uber talent, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm shocked he's here. This is a last-second replacement. Felipe Franco originally supposed to take on Ivan Gzinski and then Quentin Pasley. Both those guys withdraw from the fight, and now Franco gets stuck on his third opponent, and probably the worst opponent he's got so far, at least on the Contender. Now, my problem with Felipe Franco is he hasn't fought anybody either. He's had 8 fights. He's fought nothing but cans. Guys, Felipe Franco in his entire career has fought one guy with a legitimate record. Everyone else he's fought has 0 wins. How is he in the Contender Series? I mean, no, I get it, but my goodness, this is weird. It's really weird. Like, do you not check what these guys do prior to the UFC? Like, legitimately. I don't understand this. Felipe Franco, last win in 2024 for a 0-0 fighter by first round submission. Before that, against a 0-1 fighter. So I've watched some of his can beatdowns, and they're the easiest fights ever. I watched him fight, I think it was Luis Henrique, who was 0-1 at the time. I don't know if he's fought since, probably not. He's 0-3 now. Okay, so this is a light heavyweight fight. Felipe Franco is fighting a guy who, if he legitimately cut weight, could probably get down to 170 pounds. This guy, Luis Henrique. He's fighting just this fat guy for 205, this short, fat guy, who's throwing spinning wheel kicks to get into distance, to get into range. Like, not even like, oh, he's gonna throw it to hurt you. No. Like, he's closing gaps by trying to throw spinning wheel kicks, but not like Edson Barbosa spinning wheel kicks. The spinning wheel kick that you put your hand on the ground for and, try to flip up and kick. Which I think Travis Brown used to do that a little bit. I remember, that animation's always in the UFC video game. That's what I'm, have to say here. You don't see that kick because it doesn't work. So this guy, Luis Henrique, is throwing that to get into striking distance with Felipe Franco. And obviously, Felipe Franco is like an actual athlete. He's 24 years of age, 6'1", legitimate cut light heavyweight. He takes him down, and then he ground and pounds him to victory. Now, Freddy Vidal, there's no tape on this guy, other than his one LFA fight and some of his amateur bouts. He gets taken down in these fights, and he wins, but they're a little too close for comfort. I think we all know how this one's going to go. However, Felipe Franco is nothing but a can crusher, and he's been seriously unproven. He's so unproven. Freddy Vidal trains out of a good gym. Sarah Longo, obviously up there on Long Island, New York. Same camp, obviously, Aljo, Weidman, Merab Dvalishvili, Dennis Bazookia. There's good fighters over there, right? I don't know why I threw Dennis Bazookia in with Aljo, Weidman, and Merab, but, you get what I mean. Future champ. No, I'm joking. So he's at a good gym, right? Ray Longo probably in the corner this weekend. I don't know who else, but I don't think he's better than Felipe Franco. I know Felipe Franco's beat nothing but cans, but he's fighting cans because the matchmakers and his agent and the people around him think that, okay, he's going to be a legitimate star and he's going to be a guy that's going to go to the UFC. And well, they did it right, because look at him now. I think he's going to be in for a rude awakening once he gets into the UFC, because you fight these guys now, and sure, you're fighting Freddie Vidal, who, let's just be honest, this is not an entry-level UFC fight. Like, you should have a way tougher bout than this on the Contender Series. I think Felipe Franco is going to knock him out in the first round. He throws heavy in the first. I think the easiest pathway to victory, I don't know what he's going to do, because, oh, you want to impress Dana, I get it. If he takes down Freddie Vidal immediately, he is going to win the fight, because he'll just ground and pound him to victory. Either way, he should probably be able to knock him out as well. I'm going Felipe Franco to TKO Freddie Vidal in the very first round. And then Felipe Franco is going to come into the UFC and he's going to get obliterated. He just will. I don't care what low-level light heavyweight he's going to see. He will get into the UFC and he will match up with, I don't know, who's one of the worst light heavyweights on the roster that's actually kind of decent. Unless they give him Rafael Corqueta, who's going to fight Yakayev soon. Like, I'm serious. I think if they give him like Uran Saltadabiev from Kyrgyzstan, oh my goodness, he gets chinned in the first round, right? He gets subbed probably in the first round. Or if they give him like, I think Bruno Lopez probably beats him, which is saying something, right? So yeah, Felipe Franco's gonna win. We'll rank who gets contracts at the end of the card, but I think this is an easy first round knockout win for the Brazilian. Next up, we go to a good fight. This is a good one. In the lightweight division, Chasen Blair takes on Samuel Sanchez. Okay, so these two next fights are kind of toss-ups for me, honestly. And this one makes sense, right? Even odds for the American Chasen Blair, 7-3 professionally, has fought in the Contender Series before, lost to Cody Steele, got TKO'd. Other losses come back in Cage Warriors, most notable one to Ahmad Hassanzada, who got arrested for, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube without getting demonetized. Just look up what Ahmad Hassanzada did and why he's in prison for the rest of his life, okay? And no, he didn't kill anybody. He did something probably worse. Well, it's equally as bad. Let me just say that. It's some disgusting stuff what that guy did in Sacramento, California. Anyways, Chasen Blair, that's like his losses, right? Losing to, the Ahmad Hassanzada and then Cody Steele. Cody Steele was last year in the Contender Series, got TKO'd in the second round. Last win was a victory in Cage Warriors over Diego Visanze, where he goes in there and takes him down, submits him in the first round. Okay. Chasen Blair, I think, gets hit too much. I think so. He's got good power, but I watched that Cage Warriors fight. It's not long, but he's getting hit a little bit. The Cody Steele fight, obviously, he's getting teed up a little bit as well. I don't love that, especially against a guy in Samuel Sanchez who throws very hard. He goes into fights trying to knock you out. Every fight I have seen out of Samuel Sanchez, it has been nothing but bombs away. But here's the thing about this fight, right? If Chasen Blair is able to withstand the output out of Samuel Sanchez early, I think he'll probably win. Now, Chasen Blair's got some power in his own right. Like, you watch those Cage Warriors fights and even the Contender Series fight, and the commentators will be talking about, this guy's got power. He's a very good grappler, but he's got power in those hands too. He can put you out. Sure, I don't think that's going to really translate into a UFC fight, into a Contender Series fight against another guy who just throws equally as hard, if not throws way harder. I think it's a very difficult fight for Chasen Blair. I think it is. If he cannot get the fight down. If he can get it down, he should win it. And that's the thing. Samuel Sanchez, most of his fights are just stand-up fights. He is relatively unproven. Last fight is a first-round knockout victory over a 17-5 fighter who didn't really look like a 17-5 fighter. I mean, Sanchez literally just walks him down in the fight and puts him out. Well, drops him, then TKOs him with ground shots. It is what it is. If Chasen Blair is able to get out of that first round, and I know, again, a lot of Chasen Blair's fights end in the first, it's just he looks like the all-around better mixed martial artist in terms of he does everything better, and Samuel Sanchez's only loss comes by a heel hook finish, albeit all the way back in 2022. So, a lot of moving pieces here. Yes, again, the fight's at even odds. I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't at all, because I think Chasen Blair's got a really good chance to do it. I think so. I think he might be able to take Sanchez down, and the submission should be there for him. On the feet, if Blair has to strike, he's going to lose. Yes, he's got power. He leaves his head up too much for me, and a good enough striker like Samuel Sanchez will catch him. And by the way, Samuel Sanchez, very young still, 22 years of age. This is Blair's second chance in the Contender after losing to Cody Steele last year, who did finish him with a body shot. I'm going to go with the Brazilian here. I'm going to go Samuel Sanchez to go out there and knock out Chasen Blair in the first round. If he doesn't do that, though, then it gets interesting. But I do think a lot should be made of the fact, well, it's the Contender Series, right? Dana has said it before, like, I want you to chase finishes. You're not going to get a contract if your fight's not entertaining and not, crowd pleasing. Now, obviously, that gets thrown out the window once you actually get into the UFC, because now you just fight to win, obviously. But on the Contender, you're looking to, show out. And if you're chasing Blair, well, my best pathway to victory is grappling, but if I can't finish this guy, and if I just, decision him 30 or 29, 28, 30, 27 just because of wrestling, I'm not going to get my contract. I mean, look at Brandon Loughnane back in the day, right? Even though that was ridiculous. He outstruck the dude and then went for a takedown, 5 seconds left to secure the win, and they didn't sign him. But it's okay. That's up there with, like, Chris Curtis as one of the worst non-signings ever, even though they eventually got Curtis. But I don't know. It was silly they didn't sign Loughnane back then. Anyways, Samuel Sanchez, in this Contender Series-esque fight where, it is a Contender Series fight where, all right, we're both throwing, we both want to chase the finish, get a contract. That favors Samuel Sanchez to me. He is unproven, but I do believe he's going to win the bout. I'm going Samuel Sanchez, the prodigy, to win the fight by first-round knockout over Jason Blair. If Blair wants to wrestle, I think it's there for him. But again, we'll have to see what the defensive wrestling game and what the defensive grappling game is out of Sanchez. There's too many things have to go the right way for Jason Blair, while all Samuel Sanchez has to do is blitz and land a big shot. So I'm going to go Samuel Sanchez to win the fight by first-round knockout. Next up, we go on to a matchup in the featherweight division. Cam Teague takes in Le'Veon Douglas. I don't think Le'Veon Douglas should be this big of a favorite. Minus 590 is insane. It just is. He's not that good. He's good, but if you watch him fight, there is a possibility Cam Teague could win. And the possibility I am talking about is if he just out-volumes him and he out-pressures Le'Veon Douglas. There's a potential for him to win the fight. I think Le'Veon Douglas is a good fighter. I think he throws very hard, and that power is it's nasty. It's lethal. The problem I have with him is he fights like Cheeto Vera. He does. He sits, he waits, he's downloading information, but he's sitting there and he's watching. Boom, he throws a big shot. And then, okay, we're going to reset. Wait, another minute. Boom, big shot. He will land, don't get me wrong, and that's why he's the LFA champion, right? Or did he ever win the... Okay, he did win the Undisputed Championship in LFA. He beat Elijah Johns in his last fight. He knocked out Elijah Johns in the second round, right? He won the interim championship over Javier Reyes, who's going to be on the Contender Series later this year. I don't know why, by the way, but it's fine. Le'Veon Douglas he hits like a truck. The only problem is, does he always throw? Cam Teague is going to try to volume you. He's going to go out there and he's going to try to push a pace. However, I think the way you beat Cam Teague is by A, throwing power shots, and B, just matching those blitzes and matching the volume, because he's not able to hang on the feet with a good striker. He's not. In terms of if another good striker just goes, caution to the wind and just starts striking with him and throwing on the feet, I don't think Cam Teague's equipped to win that fight. I don't think so. It's never a good thing when the main thing commentators say about you is that you have a great chin. Because that means you just get hit too much, right? Especially when you're not in the UFC. If you're in the UFC and you're, if you're Mark Hunt, right, who was great in the UFC, right, and that's just your thing. Oh, you have a great chin. He's gonna throw back and get into wars. Great, like the Bigfoot fight. That's fine because you're an established name. When you're on the regional scene and you already have the reputation of having a good chin, it's not good because you're supposed to be going right through these guys on the regional scene. Because if you're a UFC caliber fighter, well, these 2-8 regional guys you're fighting in Empire FC should not be anywhere near your level. I'm not saying that was specific fight back in 2024 was that competitive, but I am saying again, you should not have that reputation already of having a good chin. Cam Teague last fought against Kevin Vallejos on the Contender Series, on the Contender Series in 2024. He got knocked out in the first round. Comes back to Empire FC, wins a fight by second round TKO, and then beats David Zellner by unanimous decision fight after that in March of this year. Has a win over Austin Lingo. It's a fight where he is getting tagged quite a bit, but comes out and finds a finish against Austin Lingo, former UFC name, in a main event over in Fury FC. If Le'Veon Douglas just throws, he will win. Okay? If he just not even matches the volume of Cam Teague, if he just throws anything back at Cam Teague, he's going to knock him out. This guy is the LFA champion. He's won 4 consecutive fights in LFA. Yeah, his record's 12-5. He had lost 3 out of 4 fights between 2014 and 2018. But post 2018, Le'Veon Douglas is 7-2 with the loss in Ring of Combat and the loss in LFA. But 4 consecutive wins has him where he's at. Sure, he's been knocked out twice. He's been submitted twice. He's lost once by decision. Not a perfect record at all. He's 12-5. But right now, again, he is putting it all together, in my opinion. He trains out of the same gym as Cub Swanson. I believe, yeah, UFC gym Costa Mesa over there in Orange County, California. Him and Danny Silva are the only two fighters I believe who actually train out that UFC gym with Cub Swanson. Yeah, I like Larion Douglas to win the fight. It's just he needs to throw more. If he sits back and just kind of waits on the finish like he did in that LFA interim championship fight, the output is not there in the first round. Second round though, it's Javier Reyes. Kind of he swings big. Douglas counter punches, knocks him out. I think he can win in the pure counter punching game with Cam Teague. I worry about what is done prior to that, because also for Larion Douglas, okay, if he waits back, gets that finish eventually, Dana's not going to love the performance of, it's the first big shot you threw, and yeah, you knocked him out, but it took a round and a half. I'm going to go Larion Douglas, second round knockout. Again, he will find that finish eventually, in my opinion, unless, Teague completely just volumes him and just overwhelms him striking-wise, which I would highly doubt. Larion Douglas will win the bout. I'm not high on Cam Teague at all. And yeah, he's got a great chin. Okay, that doesn't matter to me. You've got a great chin against regional guys, and you got knocked out by Kevin Vallejos in the first round. What's going to happen when you fight a guy who hits like a truck at 145 pounds in Larion Douglas? Exactly. Douglas should win by second round knockout, excuse me. We will see if he gets the contract. I'll go over that at the end of the video. Next up, let's go to the strawweight division. First women's fight, I think, all year long in the Contender, right? I think so. Was there one? I might be forgetting one because it's probably very unforgettable. Sorry, it was very forgettable. But anyways, Chanel Dyer finally gets a shot in the Contender Series. It's good. I'm glad Chanel Dyer finally got a shot. This is one of the better PFL Europe fighters they have produced over there. Did not get to fight for the PFL Europe Championship last year because she got injured. Was supposed to fight Polyana Wisniewska, and that fight never happened. Dyer, I believe, got hurt for that, right? Yeah, Dyer got injured. She had ran through all the competition in PFL Europe. And for as good as I think Wisniewska legitimately is, I think Wisniewska is very solid. I don't know. Wisniewska's good. I don't know if she is going to be a better fighter than Chanel Dyer. I think Dyer would have beaten Wisniewska. I think. Wisniewska is still undefeated. She's 6-0. I think she's going to be over in the UFC very soon as well, just because they don't pay the PFL Europe fighters all that well, even though she won the season, so maybe she'll stick around. I don't know. Chanel Dyer, though, was running through competition in PFL Europe at 22 and 23. She's now 24. Wisniewska's 26, too. That's a very young fighter, too, who needs to come over, just like Dakota Ditcheva. But Chanel Dyer's down 115 pounds now. Love that. There was no option for her to fight at strawweight in PFL because they just don't offer that weight class. It's just straight 125 and then 130 or 145 now. Even though they kind of quietly scratched 145. So really, if you want to fight in PFL, you kind of have to fight at 125 pounds for a woman, right? Chanel Dyer runs through everybody in PFL Europe. PFL Europe 2024 season for her has a brutal head kick knockout victory in the first round and then beats Valentina Scatizzi in her next fight. It's a split decision. Watch the fight. It's not a split decision. It's not. Scatizzi, her entire thing's volume. She's a 3-2 fighter who fought Dakota Ditcheva once upon a time for the PFL Europe Championship. Dyer outclasses her. Okay, she just does. All right. It is more competitive than you would like it to be, but she easily wins the bout. Anyways, Scatizzi gets to go fight in the championship fight, and Wisniewska does finish her in 20 seconds. So maybe Wisniewska is better than Dyer. But I think Dyer's got more potential. She's only 23 now. She's taking on Carol Forro in this fight. Carol Forro is the reigning jungle fight champion. She beat Sofia Esker in her last fight by first round knockout. Prior to that, back-to-back victories in UAE Warriors and Soldado Combat. She's fought a lot of cans except for her last fight. This is a fighter who is going to throw in bunches. Muay Thai-ish kickboxing fighter who, is just going to throw a lot. She's going to throw a lot of combinations and just try to get in your face. Chanel Dyer, I believe, is the much better mixed martial arts fighter, and she's got 5 inches of height on her, 4 or 5 inches of height. It's going to be difficult for Forro to do what she wants to do because Dyer's just going to catch her coming in every single time. And Dyer has legitimate power at 100. Well, she did at 125 pounds. I think it'll translate to 115 because I do believe 115 is Dyer's natural weight class. I don't think she was cutting that much to get down to 125. And just because, again, that's the only pathway for her to get in the PFL. So why not take that at the time, right? But now that 115 is available for you, it's a perfect opportunity. It is. I don't know if she's ever fought at 115. No, she hasn't. She's never fought at 115 ever in her career. But yeah, first cut ever is going to be something. She's already made weight, I think, right? Has the weigh-ins already happened? I believe she's already made weight. I hope she has. It's fine. I think she will go out here and beat Carol Forro. Just because, again, I look at the striking game out of Chanel Dyer. It is still She's still a little bit green, but she's only going to get better as she goes on, I think. She's only going to improve. Her kickboxing is solid, so I just looked. Yeah, she made weight at 116, so she's going to be fine. And then you look at the face-off between Dyer and Forro. Yeah, Dyer is definitely more than 4 inches taller than her, I think. She's just got really crisp boxing. She's going to work the body. She'll attack back up top, too. And Forro, to me, is just a... What's a comp I can make on Carol Forro? Oh, God. Like a bad Clay Guida, but just strikes. Like, if Clay Guida just did not have any grappling, didn't wrestle at all, and was just striking. Like, that's kind of what I can say for Carol Forro, just not... Obviously on a Clay Guida level of striking, not like that's that high level, but that's what I can kind of comp you to for Carol Forro. She's going to get caught coming in. Chanel Dyer will be teeing off on her, I do believe, and this is going to be a 30-27. I don't know if Dyer's going to have... I mean, if Dyer finds that one big shot, she will. Like, if she finds that head kick again, or if she really digs into the body, it might be there for her to finish. I'm more likely to think this is going to be a decision. So I'm going to go Chanel Dyer, 30-27. This is an obvious pick here. This is one of the fighters that I circled when I saw a Contender series. I like her, Brian Zurcher, who we're going to see later on. He has a really difficult fight. I was really excited that they got Chanel Dyer on here because legitimately this is a fun fighter that they can have at 115 pounds because there's not many of them. Dyer's a pretty good kickboxer, a pretty good boxer, and she should be able to dominate this fight against Carol Forro, who, has wins, but I don't think is as proven and just not as skillful. So give me Chanel Dyer. Main event, here we go. This fight, man. Guys, I don't want to be harsh. I think Steven Asplund is the worst fighter to ever fight on the Contender series. Maybe not. My goodness, dude. Okay, I'll just give this up right away. Anthony Garasio is going to knock him out in the first round. Okay? If you watch Steven Asplund fight, you will know this guy's not high level at all. I would argue he's the opposite. And I'm picking, yes, I have this much confidence in a 3-0 fighter in Anthony Garasio to win. He's fighting 5-1 Steven Asplund. Guys, okay. Now, I don't want to be rude. Look at Steven Asplund. He is let's just call it out, he's a former fat guy. He, I think, was once like 400 pounds. That's legitimately awesome. Like, he cut down. He's at 260 now. But watch him fight. He doesn't throw anything into his punches. He stands straight up in the air. And by the way, he tries to avoid getting hit. Watch his last fight against Raiden Kovas. Oh, no, it was the fight before that. It's the win over Hammer Morton, I believe. It's the Raiden Kovas fight. He stands straight up in the air, and to avoid getting hit against a 3-3 guy too who's not very good, he just does this. He kind of puts his hand out and he backs up. He tries to kind of shoulder roll and bump that off. That's not going to work against a guy in Anthony Garasio, who I'll talk about him more, but Garasio, his entire thing is I'm just going to swing and knock you out in the first minute of the fight. That's all he does. He just goes out there and swings. Will this be successful in the UFC? Probably not. Okay? Better strikers will throw a hook down, will throw a hook at him and probably put him out because he doesn't really block punches all that well. And I know what you're thinking. Well, why aren't you taking Steven Asplund to just knock him out then? Guys, Steven Asplund doesn't hit hard at all. He throws, like, legitimately, this is me replicating the speed of Steven Asplund. It's not, I'm sure he hits kind of hard, I guess, once he does that, but it's so telegraphed, and you can tell. And he's got, like, 3 minutes of cardio. The fight that I watched him fight in, he gets taken down in the first minute. He's in full mount. He's on his back. Somehow he kicks off the cage and gets out of it, and somehow wins in the second round because the guy just ran out of gas because it's a fat heavyweight fight. Oh, man. Asplund, again, his striking is not good. His gas tank is not good. I don't know how he got here. Yeah, he's 5-1. Watch all of his fights. Do me a favor and watch all of his fights. Or watch every fight you can. Watch one fight of him. How is this a Contender Series fighter? Garasio, he won the CFFC title in his last fight. Sure, I get it. He was a plus 300 dog. He goes in, beats Bailey Schnofender, who fought last year on the Contender Series and lost in the first round, right? He goes in there and knocks him out in the first, right? Got to give credit to where credit is due. That's great, right? I think, again, that's what Garasio does. It's just pressure, pressure, pressure. I'm going to knock you out before you can hit me. That's his entire game. He will knock out Steven Asplund in under a minute. Yeah, he will. Asplund, he doesn't move his head. He just, to avoid getting hit, he does this. He just moves back. Okay, you throw another straight. You keep throwing, and all Garasio throws is straights and hooks. Straight, hook, 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 hook. Because there's no jabs. It's all just, I'm trying to put you out every single shot I throw. That's exactly how you beat Steven Asplund. I don't know how Steven Asplund got to 5-1. It goes to show, like, how bad heavyweight mixed martial arts is, not just in the UFC, but in the United States. But give credit to the guy he got here. This is not going to go well. This is a first-round knockout. And if Steven Asplund wins a UFC contract, or just wins the fight in general, I don't know what I have to say anymore about, heavyweight mixed martial arts. This is the easiest pick I think I've ever made in my life. Even though this guy's just 3-0, he's a legitimate... Well, not to say Steven Asplund's not a legitimate fighter. He is. He's just not a very skillful fighter. He's a low-level fighter that doesn't have a gas tank, that can't wrestle, that doesn't hit hard, and can't get out the way of punches. How does that equate to a Contender Series fighter? It doesn't, okay? Give me the Daywalker, Anthony Garasio, my goodness, I don't know why that name's so hard for me to say, to win the fight. Yes, Asplund's 6'5", he's a huge dude. That's why he still carries, all that weight. Garasio, the 6'2", 240 heavyweight build usually works a lot better than the big fat guy build. And no disrespect to Asplund, right? I mean, shout out to him. He's not 400 pounds anymore. Like, that's good stuff, legitimately. Like, quality of life-wise, that's great stuff. It's just not everyone's cut out to be a UFC fighter. I didn't even think Garasio's a UFC fighter either. He's going to lose once he gets into the UFC, probably. But he's going to look really good with the knockout win, so Dana's going to sign him because, I love this kid. He's 31. I love this kid. He goes in there and he looks for finishes. He looks to knock you out. Oh, isn't he awesome? Welcome to the UFC, kid. So Garasio will get signed. I'll rank the 5 winners now in terms of likeliness of getting contracts. Number 1, if Samuel Sanchez does win how I think he's going to win, Samuel Sanchez is going to get the contract number 1, okay? If he wins like I think he's going to. If not, we'll see. But in terms of how I'm predicting things to go, Samuel Sanchez is going to be number 1 in getting a contract. Number 2, Anthony Garasio. He's only 2 because he's fighting Steven Asplund. But he's probably number 2 of getting a contract. Dana White's always hated fat guys, by the way. He hated Roy Nelson. So he's trying to be like, who the hell is this? He's going to be looking at Hunter Campbell and Sean Shelby. What is this? Who's this guy? Are we serious? Anyways, Garasio is probably number 2 to get the contract. Number 3, probably Chanel Dyer, I think. Because I think Dyer, even though she'll win by decision, they need women's fighters. They need British fighters. And she'll 30-27 her opponent. And it'll be striking. So she'll probably be 3rd to get a contract, even though it's a decision. 4, I'm going to go probably Felipe Franco. It's going to look like a good knockout. It's just, I don't know if he's going to win or not. And also, it's going to take longer than probably the Samuel Sanchez knockout, and he's fighting a 3-0 guy. I don't know. There's not much to put there. I think he'll get a contract too. 5, Larion Douglas. I think there's a chance they pass on Larion Douglas just because of how he fights. If he knocks him out in the first, yeah. Even if he wins by knockout, though, there's a chance he throws 5 punches before he gets a knockout, and the fight might last 8 minutes long. So I do believe Larion Douglas actually is the least likely to get a contract, and if I had to guess, I think they actually pass on Larion Douglas. He's 12-5, he'll be 13-5 with the victory. Yes, he's an LFA champion. He just doesn't throw a lot of volume, and I don't think Dana's going to like that, unless he's able to get the finish in the first. If it goes past the first round, he's not getting the contract. If it's in the first, probably. So if I had to rank him, I think number 1, probably Samuel Sanchez. Number 2, Anthony Garasio. 3, Chanel Dyer. 4, Felipe Franco. And 5, Larion Douglas. Even though Douglas might be the most skillful out of all of them, it's just Dana, he says he doesn't know anything about the fighters before they actually fight on the Contender. So that's how I'd rank them. Folks, thank y'all for watching our Contender Series predictions here for week number 5. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.